See that vents? The fan is right below. And this is what a inside of the refrigerator looks like. Right here, you can feel how cold it is, which is really cold. And there's a fan hidden to the light, which I don't know you can see it because it's hidden to the light. And there's a sensor right there that controls the temperature. Like when it's not cold enough, then the compressor kicks in and the fan's gonna warm up. So this switch right here, that noise is that the refrigerator is open. Like I forgot to close it, just keeps doing that. Any reason, it will continue beeping until you close it. So let me show you this switch right here. When I press down, it turns off the light. You see when I release it, it turns back on. When I press this, it turns off. You see when I tap on the switch, right here, goes off when you press it like that. It turns off, and it turns back on once you release it. So, and over there to the freezer, most of them done, we're having. Oh, there's the fan right there. Let me show you that real quick. Let me open the stop. You see that fan right there? You can see it really well. Let me close that. Watch that fan kicks in. So what that does in the freezer compartment, which you can hardly even see the evaporator, but you know you can see a fan really well here. But what that does is, depending on the temperature where you selected, and if you take a look on the controls right here, this is what the temp is right now. But you can also adjust the temperature to the freezer and the refrigerator. So right here, that was the that means that the refrigerator is open. It just keeps doing that, especially that I show you how it works. But what that does is when the fan kicks in, that controls by this evaporator kicks in right there, which you can see the fan kicks in. Let me open my refrigerator real quick. You see it shuts off. And when I close the refrigerator to show you, and what that does is the fan cools it. It cools it right there. You see the on-up vents. This is what a fan looks like inside the refrigerator. So what that does is when the fan kicks on, it controls the evaporator, and the fan on the refrigerator is right here. And I don't know, you can, in most cases, this refrigerator also has a built-in ice, which is off right now. You can turn it off, but right now I just keep this off. We had to do the cleaning on this too, man. Do some cleaning on this. But you know, it works. Do you hear that beep? That tells me to that tells me to close the doors. So I'm just filming so you can see how. But what that does was when the fan kicks on, you see that fan rotating. The evaporator right here turns on the fan and it controls the evaporator. And what that does is most refrigerators will have a temperature which is located inside the refrigerator compartment, this refrigerator has the temp on the control board right here, and when you make it colder and colder, the refrigerator sends the refrigerator is checking to make sure that it needs to cool down. needs to cool it down for just a little. So what that does is when the fan kicks on, the evaporator, you hear that? That tells me that noise means that it keeps doing that. So that means that they're like, like it says, hey, I need to close the refrigerator. But not really, I'm just filming. So what that does is when the evaporator comes in, right here, let me turn off my control lock real quick. The control lock helps you protect me from somebody that messing around with the entire control panel. So I just usually turn the control lock off. So in the case like when it's cold enough, like it depends on when you see on the control right there. It depends right there. Right now you're on colder. You can actually change this to cold and colder, and over there, it keeps beeping like crazy. So that means I forgot to close the refrigerator. So in this particular case, so what that hold on, focus. There we go. What that does is when the evaporator comes in, the fan kicks in, but you can see it moving. So in this particular cases, let me go ahead and close my refrigerators. I don't want it to keep beeping crazy like that. So yeah, like most newer side-by-side refrigerators will have a alarm chime. That means that the refrigerator is open. Like for example, like if someone forgot to close the refrigerator door, this alerts you. It will alert you when the refrigerator is that needs to be closed. So right here, over there on the controls, let me turn off the control lock here. Alright, so right here, this is the temperature for the refrigerator and the freezer, of course. Right here. And right here, we have ultra ice. And filter reset. I haven't checked the filter yet on this particular refrigerator, because it's located attendant to the I think it's on the not quite sure. But over there we have filter reset, ultra ice, and the control lock. And we have modes for ice and water, the freezer temperature, and then the refrigerator temperature right here. So let me go ahead and turn on. Oh, actually, I'm gonna keep my control lock off. And what that does is when the evaporator fan kicks on, watch that fan. It's gonna, you see it? What it does is when the fan kicks in, the evaporator comes on. The fan, when the compressor kicks in, which you can hardly even see it, and you can see the lights on the refrigerator comes on once you open the door. Once you open the door, the light comes on. And I will give you a listen to the remember most newer refrigerators will have a alarm. The door that keeps acting crazy. Like most particular cases, what that does is when a fan comes on, the evaporator controls the entire refrigerator right here. Do you see that fan moving? That controls all that cold air. And it depends on the temperature. Like, depending on the control right here. Let me show you that real quick. Let me press the freezer temperature button. But right now, once you see this, when you press these two buttons here, it's gonna cool itself down and the fan's gonna turn slightly off. It depends on which temperature setting you're on right now. Yeah. So, can you hear that beeping noise? This noise means that the refrigerator is open, so I need to close it. So what that does is when the fan comes on, this is what It cools the refrigerator. Let me turn on my turn the temperature up just a little. And what that does is, when the evaporator comes in, the compressor, right on the bottom, and there's a fan next to it on the bottom that turns the whole refrigerator on. It depends on what temp you select, which you can see the fan turning. This is how the refrigerator compressor works. What that does is, when the fan comes in, the evaporator comes in, which you can hear it. I don't know where do we get this refrigerator from, but I think it's about 8 or 9 years old or something like that. But the ice wasn't working right. It doesn't work. The ice is not working, so I just use as a regular refrigerator. So what that does is, when the which you can feel it, it's kind of, oh Lord, it's cold. Really, really cold. What that does is, when the air comes in, which you can feel it, how cold it is. Like, it's really cold out here too. It's so cold, man. Very, very, very cold. Which you can feel it. But the very point is, don't cover the vents, okay? Don't cover the air. Don't cover the vents right here. See this vents right here? Don't cover the air vents, alright? Oh Lord, it's very, very, very cold. Which you can feel how cold it is. It depends on which temp you select. Like, and what that does is, after you select your desired temp, and this internal fan comes on. So what that does is, when the fan kicks in, let me turn on my control lock back on. So what that does is, when the fan kicks in, the evaporator, which you can hardly even see on the back, right there, the compressor, right there. Oh, look at that. I don't know if there's a spot where you plug the refrigerator in. I do not even notice that. I do not even notice that there's a spot where you plug it in. Yeah, we plug it in just like there. To same thing like you plug it into your microwave. That's just pretty cool. You can plug the refrigerator in here. But what it does is, when the compressor kicks in, which you can see it here, hardly even see it, because there's a plate, that metal plate that protects from moving parts, which you can see it. You hear that? Do you hear that compressor? It's quiet too. Okay guys, that was my review of how the compressor works on your refrigerators. Thanks for watching, folks. How the compressor works. Thanks a lot, folks. Which you can hardly even hear it on this side. Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it down there too. Yeah. No vents on the bottom side. It needs to have one on the bottom. I don't know what this is for. We have to find out on the comments below. So I don't know what that bottom is for. I think that's for protecting the sink from tipping over or something like that. But I'm not quite sure what this bottom is. But which you can see it, you can hear it. That's a compressor right there. You can hear the compressor, and there's the fan next to it. It helps keep the compressor warm in here. Okay, well, that was the how the compressor works on the side. Oh yeah, right there. This refrigerator is very dirty. See, dirty on this side. we had to do the cleaning on this too. Alright, well, that was it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.